Man is a tree of life and is depicted by the Sephirot tree of life with the 10 Sephiros and the 22 paths connecting these Sephirot. And today's a perfect day to talk about that because it's Tu B'Shvat, the new year of trees. So let me tell you, as a continuation, about the letter Kuf. The letter Kuf, to me, is the secret of the inverted posture called the shoulder stand or the mother pose in yoga. And it's actually an inverted tree. Why? It's the neck position of this inverted tree. Even though it looks below the line, it's really above the line. And it's parallel in the lamed, which looks above the line, is really on the line. So with that, if you're not confused, the letter Kuf is made up of the Resh and the Zayin, the Resh on top of the Zayin. This Zayin is 67 in Gematria, Zayin Yud Nun, which is the same Gematria as the word and the term Bina. Bina is the mother. This Zayin appears in the neck position from the medulla oblongata to the throat to the between the shoulders, and it represents Eric Anpin because Eric Anpin only has two sephirots in its head, Chochmah and Keter and Chochmah, and Bina falls into the neck. And so this is a perfect example of the Resh being the Rosh and the Zayin being the Bina. And so when you see this most exemplified in the shoulder stand, which is the inverted posture, which is the inversion of the tree of life, and we see this most expressively on Tu B'Shvat, which is the new year of trees. And the great secret is the spot of the medulla oblongata where the Yud of the Zayin resides, the top head of the Zayin balanced in between the straight line of a Vav. The Zayin is a Yud in the middle, where a Vav has a Yud to its left. And this Eric Anpin as the second part, the lower part of Atik Yomin, the Bina sinks into the neck. Now, when you do the inverted posture of the shoulder stand, this neck lies flat on the floor from the entire spot of this Zayin in the Kuf. Remember that Kuf is made out of a Resh and a Zayin, which is 200 for the Resh, 7 for the Zayin, and that's 207, which is Ein Sof. Ein Sof is entered into when one does the shoulder stand. Another gematria here is that the word Rosh, which is very similar to Resh, because on this case I'm spelling Rosh as Resh, Aleph, Shin, and Resh as Resh, Shin. Not putting the Yud in this Resh, Shin. And so the Rosh is 501, and the Resh is 500 plus 1, and that's the same. And the Resh spelled out is 500 for the Resh, 111 for the Aleph, 360 for the Shin, that's 971, which is the same as the Gematria. The Gematria is 970 for the word Dalet, the full spelling of it. And so the Resh, excuse me, not Dalet, the same as Das. So the Resh and Das become the same. The same level of the Resh, which is kind of Keta, and Das, which is the level of the throat or the back of the neck, is the same. And that's exemplified here in this letter Kuf. It sinks down. A parallel for this day here is the letter Lamed, which is the only letter that goes above the line, made with what I call a Kaf and a Vav, which is 26, which is Yud K Vav K, which is, if multiplied by Yud K Vav K, Yud K K Vav Vav K K, and added together comes out to 186, which is the same as Makum, but it's also the same as the letter Kuf itself, Kuf Vav Pei. And so with this, we see that the Zayin, the big thing here today is that the Zayin of the Kuf is Bina, which sinks out of the head, out of the Resh, on top of the Kuf, and sinks into the throat area, to the into the throat, out of the head. And that Eric Anpin only has 2 Sepharots in the head. And that's why this Kuf represents Eric Anpin and represents here the relationship between the head and the throat. This is a great level, and one has to look at this level as a reversal. To reverse, an inversion, hipuk. Even though it looks like a normative downward, it's really upward, because to do this mother pose of the kuf, to do this shoulder stand, you have to be inverted. And then the head is actually in an angle. So the legs go up, and then the head goes at a slight angle. And that slight angle is the letter kuf. So meditation for today of Tu B'Shvat is the letter Kuf, when done with a shoulder stand. A resh, and then in the back, from the medulla oblongata through the neck into the shoulders, between the shoulders, is the letter Zayin. And this is the great Raz, Resh Zayin, the great secret of 207 Resh Zayin, of Ein Sof and Or. And these are the meditations I want you to do. When you do the shoulder stand, and think of yourself as going back up the tree of life,